So again, good evening, and as always, we're giving this lesson in two languages. I do not speak German yet, but for now, English works. I hope so. And this Shabbat, we're actually going to talk, or more correctly to say, going to read the portion of Reeh. Look as God Almighty going to put in front of us a blessing and a curse. So if we're talking about vision, what a better time to talk about another visions that we have almost every night, maybe even every night, and it's our dreams. And therefore, I chose to talk about dreams today. Of course, we cannot talk about dreams and to explain it all in 40-45 minutes, because for an hour and a half, usually it's like 40-45 minutes lesson in Russian and then English. But we should start, and we should have some main ideas. And today we're going to read together from the Talmud, from Masechet Barachot. We're going to read all together from the book of the Zohar, from the portion of Vayeshev. And we will try to figure out for ourselves what are dreams, can we use them? Is there anything good in it or not? And it's true that in our bookshelf, we have a lot about dreams, starting with the Torah and the prophets and the writings, the Tanakh, continuing with the Talmud, and as we said, the Zohar, the Agadot, and till the Halakha, Ibn Shulchan Aruch, that we have fragments about dreams. But let's start from the basics. Let's start from the Torah. In the basics, who is the first human being to have dreams in the Torah?
Joseph. Yeah. Joseph когда он был.
Yosef был первый. So Yosef even wasn't born yet when we meet the first dream in the Torah. וישלח אבימלך מלך גרר ויקח את שרה ויבוא אלוהים אל אבימלך בחלום הלילה ויאמר לו הנה חמת על האישה אשר לקחת. So the first dream that we meet in the Torah is actually a king, the king of Gerar. His name is Avimelech. As he tried to steal the wife of Abraham Avinu. He saw a beautiful woman. He said, I want her. So he took Sarah, and then at night he get a dream. God comes and tell him, listen, she actually is not single. She's married. Her husband is a prophet, and if you will do something, I will kill you. Elimelech, thank God, take it very seriously. And of course, he let her go. He gave money to Abraham. We were asking for the forgiveness of both of them, and so on and so forth. But this is the first time we meet a dream in the Torah. So the second, and actually the third dream that we meet, also in the book of Bereshit, the dreams of Yaakov, Jacob. So the first dream of Yaakov is, probably you know, the most famous dream is, if you answer, you need to unmute yourself, yeah?
I'm not really sure. Is it with the ladder?
Yeah.
Where the angels come on the ladder?
Very good. Angels are going down and going up on the ladder of Yaakov, Sulam Yaakov. And the second dream of Yaakov is, anyone remember? It's less famous, but very important one. Actually, all the secrets of Kabbalah based on the second dream of Yaakov. It's when Lavan, his father-in-law, trying to squeeze him and steal from him. So the angels tell to Yaakov in the dream what kind of animals with his well, you remember? Yeah, you want to express.
It's more like I envision like the animal, and you get like a deeper vision.
Which will born, so they will stay in his earth, and that will go back to the earth of Lavan. Great, this is the same. ויראה בחלום הנה העתודים העולים על הצאן הקודים לקודים וברודים מתקדן. So after the two dreams of Yaakov, we have the dream of his father-in-law, of Lavan. Lavan himself also have a dream. Because when Yaakov, with all his family and everything, they have all his herds and so on, running away, Lavan finding out about it. And when he finds out about it, he starts to run after, right? He wants to catch him, maybe able to kill him. And at night, he have the dream, and God tell him, "Yishamer lecha pen tedaber im Yaakov mitov ad ra." Be careful, tells God to Lavan, not to talk with Yaakov from good to bad. Lavan doesn't really listen to God because he coming to Yaakov, he's telling him whatever he wants to tell, but he said, listen, in the dream God told me not to talk with you, so I will not kill you. Yeah? After Lavan, the next dreams that we meet in the Torah are the dreams of Yosef, of Joseph. Yeah, Joseph the righteous, Yosef HaTzadik. You have two dreams that are alike, where the how you say the I forgot the word in English. Omrim, the grain. Again, how?
The wheat thing.
The wheat, right? Yeah, the barley, how do you call it in English?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
So it coming in front of Yosef, and it bows in front of him, and then you see another dream where you see the stars, the moon, and even the sun also bowing before of him. And of course, first of all, he tells us to his brothers, which was a mistake. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. And then tell it to his father. His father is concerned, have his own concerns about those dreams, right? Because everybody, his brothers tell him, what you want to be the king and the ruler upon all of us? How come, right? And actually, by the way, does those dreams of Yosef, did they came through? Did they came to a manifestation?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Also about that we're going to talk. And then, but not right away, right? Because from the moment where Yosef having those dreams till he would become the ruler of Egypt, you have 22 years gap between them. By the way, this is how we know that a good dream can manifest itself till 22 years. So if you have a good dream, it can come true, but you might need to wait for it 22 years. Right? And then he gets to the dungeon. He meets the ministers of Pharaoh. They have their dreams. He hear them, explain them what they saw. The things that he explained, this is how it played out. And eventually we have, in the end of Bereshit, also the dreams of Pharaoh, right? About starvation and the blessings before the starvation, before the famine in Egypt, there will be a lot of food, and then it's going to disappear. And eventually, in the Torah, there's one more dream that we meet in the 5 books of Moses, which is, I will give you a hint. It was a villainer that had a dream. He wasn't a good guy. Bil'am ben Beor, when God is revealing himself in front of Bil'am, he do it with a dream, through a dream, at night. That's it. Those are all dreams that were in the Torah. After that, in the prophets, and we see it already with Gideon and so on, you have a lot of dreams. But in the Torah itself, those are the dreams that we have. And we'll stop here with getting those basics. By the way, we can see that around the time of Yaakov and Yosef, it's like you have awakening of dreams in the Torah. And it's also connected to Kabbalah for those who studied with me or in other places. And you had a good teachers. So we know that Yosef is the level or the sphere of Yesod, and Yaakov, it's Tiferet. And soon we're going to see how it's connected with dreams and even prophets and getting a nevuah. Let's try, first of all, to understand what is a dream. Okay? To understand the idea of dream, let's first of all go to the word itself. The word dream in English, it's also Traum in German, and even for me and for us this evening in Hebrew, the word Chalom have a double understanding. Because a dream, it's what I'm dreaming at night, but it's also what I'm dreaming of, my dream, what I want to accomplish, right? So it's not a mistake or a whoopsie, it's the same. No, it's intentionally this way, especially in Hebrew. What's interesting in Russian, it's not like this. In Russian, you have two different words. So you dream as a song, which is what you're going up with you at night, and you have michta, which is what you dream of. Okay, but in Hebrew, it's the same word, chalom, for both. She asked because in Yiddish you say chaloimes about a nonsense. Chaloimes, it's nothing important. So chaloimes, it's like come from the word halom, which is dream. So how can you explain? So I gave an explanation, but again, I'm not an expert of Yiddish, so I just know abyssally of Yiddish. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay. With Yosef Tzaddik, we see maybe for the first time that dream and dream come together. Because the dreams of Yosef at night, it's also actually his dream, what he's dreaming on. He sees himself as a king, as a ruler, which will eventually happen. It will take 22 years, but it will happen. So for Yosef, dream and dreamers are actually one, as in Hebrew, and maybe because of that in other languages as well. And now also we can understand why when the brothers of Yosef, when they throw him to the pit, what they say, and we shall see what will be his dreams. It's a weird sentence to say, unless we understand it now, and we shall see what will be his dreams, meaning what he's going to dream of, or those dreams of him. I'm sorry, those dreams that he has to be a ruler, to be a king. Let's see how it's going to manifest as in the pit. He is about to die or be sold to be a slave, right? So it took some time, but it did happen. So we see it. By the way, in the Talmud, the way we're going to read now, we're not going to read it now, but further in the Masechet Brachot, in the next page, it says that a dream that we didn't speak about and we didn't try to understand it or to get it to be explained, it's like a letter that wasn't open. Yeah, in Brachot, in page 56. We're going to read it together now with page 52. Page 55. Nun Hey. We're going to read a small part from that, but later on it also says this. Rav Arami Ketib. B'chalom adaber bo. So one of the sages in the Talmud is saying, in one place in our writings it says, "B'chalom adaber bo," that God revealed himself to the sages, to the prophets through a dream. But in another place it says, the dreams show us nonsense, haloimus. What is the truth? So is a dream is dream bring us truth and prophecy, or is dream is nonsense? This is what the sage in the Talmud is asking us. A good question, right? Even if we think it's not a good question, it is a good question. לא קשיא. כאן על ידי מלאך, כאן על ידי של. Answering us the Talmud, it's not a problem, it's not a question, because the true dream, the dream of prophecy, is a dream that brought us by an angel. The dream with the nonsense came to us by a demon. Demon? Angel? Really? Are we reading here the books of Dan Brown or Master and Margarita? What are you talking about? Orcs and elves, right? So it can, if we read it like this, we need to understand what does it mean. And then it says, Amar Rabbi Bizna bar Zavda, Amar Rabbi Akiva, Amar Rav Panda, Amar Rav Nachum, Amar Rabbi Diraim, Mishun Zaken Echad, Umanu, Rabbi Bana. So we see that the sages are saying in the name of the other sages, that said in the name of other sages, one after the other, a story about a sage that his name was Rabbi Bana. What happened with this Rabbi Bana? So Rabbi Bana is telling the next story. 24 experts of dreams used to live in Jerusalem. One night, Rabbi Bana had a dream. So he did an experiment. He went to all 24 experts to get their interpretation of his dream. And he's saying that he got 24 different explanations, which all of them came true. And then he said, oh, it makes sense as we study that dreams are coming true by the word, by the mouth that explain them. And then the Talmud asked, what do you mean? We don't see such a explanation in the Torah. And Rabbi Eliezer explained, it's based on what happened with Yosef HaTzadik. Because about Yosef HaTzadik, it says, Vayhi kasher patar kenaya, when Yosef explaining the dreams of the ministers of Pharaoh, so later it says, the way he explained this is how it manifests itself. Meaning we can understand that what happened with those ministers happened because this is how Yosef explained it, and not because there's only one answer or explanation to that dream. Okay, here we're going to stop our reading of the Talmud and continue our lesson. So we see from the Talmud that we had good dreams, we have bad dreams, we have dreams by an angel, that is true, and we have dreams that coming by a demon, which it's false. And we also saw that the way you explain the dream, this is what's going to manifest, right? We see also a story in the Talmud later on, also here in Brachot, about Bar Hedia, that he was a very famous person, that like a real expert of dreams. But eventually, we find out that those who paid him, they got a good explanation of blessings and money and love and whatever. But if you are poor and don't have the money, so it's strategy one after another. And two sages that used his expertise. One was rich and paid him, the other one was poor and couldn't pay him. And you see the difference between them. Eventually, this person is dying a horrible death. But we see that the way you explain dreams have the power. But in many ways, also we also can hear something from psychology, right? In psychology, there's the idea of prophecy that manifests itself, right? This is why, for example, when you have kids, you should not tell them you're dumb, you're an idiot, or you are bad. No, you are good and you're smart, but those actions were bad, or those actions were false, right? Not to create false belief in the person. It's very important, right? So is it that a dream is actually a prophecy that manifests itself or not? It's a question that I want to leave here open. Actually, here it will be a good idea to get reminded with one of the ideas that Immanuel Kant brought to us. Yeah, it's actually a neighbor of us, right? In Prussia, part of Germany is today of today's Germany. That about 300 years ago, he said that you have yourself, and you need to have the ability to understand that you have objectively what you have in this world, and subjective what you have inside you, and it's two separate things that are not connected, right? In psychology, what Freud said, that you have your conscious and you have what you're not conscious of. So in psychology, from Freud and on, for them it always was important, the dreams of people, to understand the inner world of the person, right? But the Torah is saying not something else. No, we do have connection between what's inside of us and what's outside of us. Because all the facts that we see around us are always also have been explained. Now, many sages throughout the years and the generations taught us this part of the Talmud, telling us, do not understand or treat it lightly. Do not take literally what says, do not understand it literally. About demons and angels, but there is one place, one of a few, that actually is saying, no, you should understand it literally. And this is the Zohar, and this is what we're going to read right now. Lakuf Pei Gimel Amud Aleph. So in the Zohar, we're going to read from the portion of Vayeshev, page 183a, or those who have the Zohar with the explanation of Rabbi Ashlag, it's in verse 82. And Yosef dreamt a dream, and so on. רבי חייא פתח ואמר, ויאמר שמעונה דברי אם ינביאכם השם במראה אליו אתוודע בחלום אדבר בו. So Rabbi חייא is giving here a verse from the Torah, when God talking to the nation of Israel, telling them, don't understand who is Moses. Moshe, it's not a regular prophet, because a regular prophet, I will talk with him in a vision or in a dream, but not with Moshe. With Moshe, it's a completely different relationship between God and him as a prophet. And Rabbi חייא continued. ככה זה, בחג'יס מתחיל. כמה דרגין לדרגין עבד קודש בריך וכולו קיימה דה על דה. דרגה על דרגה, דה לאיל מן דה וכולהו ינקין אילם מן אילם. כי דחה זה לא, אילן מימינה ומשמאלה וכולהו יתמן אילן על אילם, קולה כדקה יאות. Is it clear? Yeah, we can continue. So Rabbi חייא suddenly started to talk about completely different thing. Look how God created this world and all the worlds with all those sfirot, all those levels that are connected to each other and receiving from each other, from right and from left and so on. We just spoke about dreams. You just gave us a verse about God talking to the prophets through a vision or a dream. What do you want from me with those sfirot? And what do you want? Let's see. ככה זה, בחג'יס מתחיל. כל נביאי דעלמא, כולהו ינקין מסיפרא חדא, מגוטרן דרגין ידיען, ואינון דרגין הבו התחזיה. בגו אספקלריה דלנהרה, דכתיב במראה אליו אתוודע. מהי מראה? כמה דהתמר חייזו, דכל גבנין התחזיין בגבה. ודאי אספקלריה דלנהרה, בחלום אדבר בו, באו חד משיטי, אוקיי, יתשת פה. So, the Zohar is telling us that the prophets, when they got their prophecy, where they got it from, they received the prophecy from the levels of from the Sfirot, the sphere of Netzach and Hod. When we study Kabbalah, the structure of this world is from 10 levels or 10 Sfirot. The three upper ones are Keter, Chochmah, and Binah, it's like the head. And then the last 7 ones, it's like the body. Chesed, Ruah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchut, Malchut, or kingdom, it's where we are at. Okay? So, we are in a very low level. The prophets could receive and understand the prophecy and therefore explain it on the level of Netzach, through the prism or through the glasses of Netzach and Hod. The prophecy itself, where is it coming from? From much higher level, from the level of Binah. We are not prophets. And dreams also is prophecy coming from Binah, but we are not prophets, so we don't have the glasses of Netzach and Hod. We are in the Malchut, which is a much lower level, so therefore we cannot understand dreams as a prophecy. We're not prophets, but we are the sons and the daughters of prophets. So let's see what we can do with it. חלום, בחלום הדבר בו, דאו חד משיטין בנבואה, כמה דו כמוה, ואיו דרגה שתיטעה, מהאו דרגה דנבואה, ואיו דרגה דגבריאל, דממנה על חלמה והאיתמה. The Zohar is telling us, and also the Talmud talking about it, that dream, it's one part of 60 from prophecy.
60 or 60?
One of 60, 60. Yeah? Of 60. Not 16, 60. Yeah? 1 out of 60. 60. It also, so when the dream is true, coming from an engine, right? It also means that the last 59 parts of the 60 are not prophecy. But there is, in a true dream, can be prophecy. It also says that you have different levels of prophecy. So if the highest level is the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu, beneath him it's the prophecy of other prophets, because other prophets getting from Netzach and Hod. Moshe, his prism is his glasses to see and to understand the prophecy is from Tiferet. It's even from a higher level. So it's 1, it's 2, and so on, and dream it's the 6th level. So it's in the lower zone of prophecies. Okay. And those dreams that are true are coming to us through the channel of that we also can call Angel Gabriel. Yeah, Angel Gabriel is the angel that's in charge on those mini prophecies, if we mix it. תחזי כולכן מדעיו כתקייאות מהי דרגה כאתיה ועלדה לית לחלמה דלה התערבו נעימי מילין כדיבין כמה דאוקימנה ובגין כך מיניו קשות ומיניו כדיוון ולית לחלמה דלה אידבה מהי גיסה ומהי גיסה. So we see that most of our dreams are actually a mix of good and bad. And even in the best dreams that are the most true and most prophetly most prophetic dreams that we might have, we have a lot of nonsense. Especially in our times, when we have the radio and TV and watch movies and our concerns and our fears and everything going on, also get into our dreams, but most of it it's mixed. So even a bad dream might have some truth in it. Some would try to explain the idea of deja vu, because we had something in a dream and said, I already lived through it. ובגין דאידבך בחלמה קולה דאיתמה כל חלמין דעלמא עזים בתר פישרה דפומה והוקמה כדכתיב ויהי כאשר פתרם כן היה. So the Zohar here is saying also what we learn in the Talmud, that it's very important how you explain your dreams, because the way you explain them, this is the way they're going to manifest themselves. Mai Talma, Achimu, why, Varun, בגין דאידבה, דחלמה כדיבו וקשות, ומילה שאלת על כולה, ובגין כך באי חלמה פישה טבע רבי יהודה אמר, בגין דכל חלמה מדרגה דלתתה איהו ודיבור ושלטה עלי, ובגין כך כל חלמה אז לה בתר פישרה. I would like just to read it quickly and then to explain more shortly because time is of So I didn't even read all of it, but I hope you're going to trust me that what I'm going to say now is based on the words of the Zohar and it's not my my imagination. It's also part of why we read, why it's important to have the books in our hands to have the originals. So let's see. So why is it so important to explain or to use our words, to use our ability to talk in order to manifest our dreams? So dream coming from Binad, when we live in our dream, we live in a different reality, in a reality without the limitations of time and space. Right? The motion in our dream is completely different. You can start your day in Jerusalem and end it in New York, right? You can fly. You can be years upon years, and then, but actually, it's a few seconds, the most, right? Languages, things, a place that we've never been. There are no limitations as we know them, because from coming from Bina, when we just wake up, we still have the taste of it, and then all we need to choose. Okay, no, we want to take it with us, but then we need to tell it to someone. We need to think about it. We need to write it. We need to draw it. Or it goes away, right? The first stage of manifestation in our world, it's speech. We have ideas, right? We have a great idea. Brilliant thoughts. The first step to bring it to manifestation, it's to talk. Then you write, you draw, and only then you build. Or doing something with actions. So the first action is actually talking. This is to manifest our thoughts that are not physical to this physical. The same is with dreams. So when we go to sleep, as the Zohar is saying, our soul, at least part of our soul, getting out of the body, getting higher, well, depends on our actions during the day, but if we are good, it will get to Binah, and then we get the ideas, and then coming here and we need to start to manifest it with our words. And we see here that, therefore, when we have a dream, don't go to an expert. Go to one who loves you. Oh, but the person, he has such a long white beard, or she's already 105 years old. She probably knows. Hold on. As we saw Barhada in the Talmud, you pay him, he gives you a good explanation and it manifests itself. You don't pay him, it's a bad explanation, it manifests itself. Meaning, in other words, you go first of all to the one who loves you, because if he or she loves you, it means that you're connected by your soul. More chance that they will get the essence of your dream. And nevertheless, they will give you a positive explanation of it. We said that dreams are, that's I didn't explain them, I didn't try to understand them. It's like a letter that you didn't open. But what if it's an import letter? It will manifest itself anyway, but it will manifest itself in one of so many ways it can. Depends on you and what is going on in the world and so on. So if I can have some if I can in any way have a say about how it's going to manifest, I should. And therefore, that the sages teach us that you want that somebody will explain you the dream, go to a person who loves you. To influence, yeah? So you'll be able to influence what's going on.
It's the same. You have a choice, Buddha.
Also, in a way, you have the ability to actively to do something with it. Soon we'll see, because it's not enough that the person also only loves you, but it's a start. Not, which is the opposite of what Yosef the righteous did, because he went to his brothers that hated him, and then what they tell him, oh, now we'll see your dreams, right? So because the first one to explain his dreams and to understand them were a person who do not like him, it took 22 years to get manifest. But it wasn't enough just to have the dreams, because Yosef did something for it. He worked for it for 22 years to manifest the dream. Because the dream, it's not only what I dream at night, a dream, it's also what I'm dreaming of. Therefore, I need actively to live my dream. To dream of, oh, I'm going to have 6 abs, but sit leg on leg and eat cheeseburger, it's not kosher. You had a vegan cheeseburger, right? And drink beer all day, because I had a dream that I'm going to be ripped and fit, it will never work. You need actively to do something with it, starting with explaining your dream, but also what are your actions. So Yosef continued to fight and to go forward, but because the first explanation of his dreams were the people who hated him, it got delayed in 22 years. And this is a secret of Yosef, because what Yosef is doing with Pharaoh, he explained the dream, oh, you see the cows and you see the barley, and you're going to have 7 years of blessings and all that is good, but then you go to a famine and hunger. But what is doing right after that? Pharaoh, listen to me. Find a person that will do A, B, C, and so on. And then Pharaoh said, wow, that a sage, that a person that can realize it. Why? Because this person he didn't just bring me a spiritual explanation, a nice explanation of my dream. He could bring it to manifestation. He brought Binah to Malchut. In other words, also in that at that moment, Yosef manifests his own dream that he dreamed 22 years ago. So, as we said, to tell it to a person that we love, but it's not enough. Because Rabbi Nachman from Breslev says that a person that's coming to explain to me my dream should know the secret language, the holy language, which is Hebrew. So, in other words, any Israeli today can yeah, more or less. Yeah. So, a person who loves you, will respect you, that have good intention toward you, and also, but he or she needs to know Hebrew. So in that sense, for not a lot of money, I'm willing to expand your dreams, and I can promise that in the next 22 years or so, they will be manifest themselves. So do this and that. Yes.
We will pay only for a positive interpretation.
Of course. I love you so much, and I know Hebrew, so for some amount of money, I'm willing to do so. But you cannot come to me and say, oh, it didn't happen. From your dream, you need to, in the next 22 years or so, it's going to manifest itself. Okay. And also what's important, right? That you need to be conscious to your dreams, both the dreams that you dream, but also your dreams, what you dreams of, and be willing to act upon them. Because without your action, nothing will happen. And it's not a coincidence that we have a prayer before we go to sleep. For example, the Kriyat Shema. You should practice it. This is what the sage is telling us. Besides Shema Yisrael that we say, we also should add a verse of mercy. Sephardic and Ashkenazic have different verses, but we all do that. Ari Kadosh is adding another verse. Nafshi v'ticha baralef uchi b'kirbi ashachaleka, which connected to the reincarnation, but we're not going to talk about it right now. This is why when you have a bad dream, you can sweeten it with different dreams, or even to have to fast, not to eat and not to drink for the day. Before you go to sleep, you can order a drink, and of course, as we said, your actions throughout the day and your thoughts are have a big influence on your dreams, and so much more. But there's already so much that we can do already. So, are dreams important? Yes and no. It's a lot up to us. Can it be sometimes a prophecy that bring it to you, that manifests itself? Sometimes yes. But we should stop, have the separation of what I have inside and what happens outside, because our worlds inside and outside are connected. I know Kant did a lot to change this world. Maybe a lot of it also brought good things, but in that sense, no, it is connected. What is inside and what is outside. As I was in university, I also took a course from a different university to learn how to learn. So even what you study before you go to sleep will get into you much stronger in the next day. So a lot connected with sleeping and with our dreams. So as we are getting closer and closer to Rosh Hashanah, ask and use this tool also to realize what else I need to work on before the day of judgment, as we say, before Rosh Hashanah, before we're going to get audit by God with all that we had, and getting for this coming year even more and better resources to better manifest our dreams. Wasir Bashar, thank you so much. Questions?
Go first. It's okay. So
I have a question.
One second, yeah.
if the suggestion is to ask a loved one, it's this implicit in this that a loved one in generally talking in a way to you that is more elevating. It's like
Usually, somebody.
the thought in it.
So it's not only that. If I love someone, music, my soul is connected to his or to her soul. This is also family. It's in our family. I have me and my wife, and it's me and my wife. In that sense, I can talk with you. But for example, I'm meeting a lot of people. So when I meet a woman, I will not give her a hand. I will say hello and so on. Why? Because my physical touch, it's only me and my wife. My daughter, my mother, right? That's it. Why? Because we are close enough in the sense, even on the sense of a soul. My teacher is somebody who's very close to me. My teacher, for example, Rabbi Shimon Kutnovsky-Liak, my teacher, Rav Pinchas Goldschmidt, that I know for so many years that they have the best intention for me, and they want me to succeed. It's a different love than the love of my wife, or a different love from the love of me and my kids, or me and my parents. But this love means that our soul are connected on a stronger level, and therefore, even they're not expert, for sure they were going to give me a different answer. But also, my teachers, at least, they know Hebrew in a good way, so I better go to them, right? Makes sense? Good. Miriam, yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask if our sages say anything about how you can see if the dream is perhaps from an angel or a demon, because, I mean, you could dream something and it's actually from a demon, but you, in the first place, you say, oh, that's cool, I'm working on that, or I try to manifest it, but it's actually a bad thing.
Okay, so about angel or demon, it's not literally demon and angel, right? But is there a way to understand if I should pay attention to this dream or not? Yes. Will we talk about it tonight? No. So, for example, how clear it is, your feelings. Yeah, for example, a dream that it's only bad feelings and horror. That's nonsense. Okay. So if the dream is not really clear, vivid, less pay attention to it. They're different. We're not going to talk about it today. But yes, you can open the Talmud in Brachot. You can read all about it there. And by the way, we also said that most of our dreams are mixed, right? It's not only a nightmare. Don't pay attention. The question was, did Adam and Eve did the dreams also before the sin? Because also Adam slept. So I said, well, first of all, he didn't really sleep. God put him to sleep, and not only him, but also Eve, so that he will be able to separate them, because Adam and Eve were two halves of one, like siamic twins, and he separated them, and so he put them to sleep so it will not hurt. You're not like today, we have doctors to do that, right? Did he dream or not? We have no idea. Maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. The Torah does not tell us. Okay. I'm going to be shocked if I'm not going to see you this coming Shabbat, even though that are not in the Hannover. Yeah, so you should get a ticket and fly here. So, of course, your feedback, what we can do better. I'm always looking forward to hear from you. And, of course, I'm going to see you this coming Shabbat and in our next lesson and so on. Cheers.